Hello my friends, my name is Lucky Satyr, and in this video I'll be talking about sniping in Battlefield Hardline. First I'll be talking about the changes that happened, then I'll show you guys the professional class loadout. Finally, I'll give you guys some tips and tricks which will make you a better sniper in Battlefield Hardline. So let's start with the sniping changes. Sniping is pretty much the same with Battlefield 4 when it comes to mechanics, but there are some few changes. First of all, there is a red hit mark when you get a headshot. It basically lets the player know if they got a headshot or not. Secondly, there's no smoke trail or vapor trail now, which basically makes snipers harder to see. Also, there's no scope glint, so it is really hard to spot snipers. Thirdly, the snipers in the game now has less velocity, which means that you'll have to aim higher above an enemy's head to get a headshot. In Battlefield Hardline, the gun with the highest muzzle velocity is Scout Elite with 640 meters per second, while in Battlefield 4 it's the JNG-90 with 670 meters per second, which basically means there's less muzzle velocity. Now, let's go and check our loadout and see what we have in our professional class loadout. In the professional class, you can use the bolt action snipers or the DMRs. The bolt action rifles you have are Scout Elite and AWM. For optics, you have your classic optics, but the maximum optic you can get is now 14 times, instead of 40 times which we had in Battlefield 4. The optic I will recommend will be the 8 times scope or the 7 times scope. The accessories and the muzzles are basically the same with Battlefield 4. For the AWM, you start with the 14 times scope, but I do recommend you use the 7 times or the 8 times scope. For the accessories, you have something brand new. You have the Magnum ammo. It basically gives your sniper more power and range. With this accessory, you can get a 1 kill body shot from 50 to 60 meters. But the devs have identified this problem and are working on it to fix it. So don't get your hopes up. And for the muzzles, you have the same things. Now for our secondary, we have the Glock 18C for our secondary. As you can see, the Glock 18C I think is a pretty good gun. I do recommend you use this gun. And buying another, in my opinion, will be a waste of money. For our Gadget 1, I recommend the Laser Trip Mine. And for Gadget 2, I recommend Stealth Training, which basically makes you more silent, or Grappling Hook, if you want to camp on rooftops and be the guy that everyone hates. So Grappling Hook or Stealth Training. Now your reputation is basically your perks from Battlefield 4, but now you only have one option per class. As you can see on level 3, you have your Hold Breath perk, which makes you hold your breath longer. In Battlefield 4, it was in level 1, which means that if you got used to using this perk and holding your breath for longer durations, you'll be having a hard time sniping in Battlefield Hardline because you won't be able to hold your breath longer from the beginning of a game. Now, let's get started with our tips. Tip number 1. Always spot your enemies. Spotting your enemies makes your team see them on the minimap and also makes you free points. And who doesn't like free points? Am I right, guys? Now, for tip number 2. Always use your big map to target enemies. What I mean by that is, open the big map that is next to your scoreboard and target an enemy on the map and look through the scope and kill him. This makes targeting enemies really easier. Tip number 3. If your enemy is moving, shoot at where he is going. Do not shoot at where he is or you'll miss the shot. So you have to shoot at where the enemy is going to take him out. Now, this does require a lot of practice, so don't get frustrated if you miss a few shots. It's normal, just keep practicing, and you'll be perfect. Tip number 4. If your enemy is stable, align the crosshair with his head, because on long distances, even a slightest millimeter off the target will make you miss the shot. Tip number 5. Don't use your sniper against vehicles, because snipers don't do a lot of damage. So shooting a vehicle with a sniper will be useless. As you can see, the sniper does not do a lot of damage. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you learned something new. If you did, Please leave a like down below to show your support. If you have any questions, write it in the comments down below. And if you want more videos, don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Until then, bye.